Freedom of speech is a constitutional right in the United States of America, but where is the line? Or is there one? Just last week, an employee at Home Depot came under fire for an anti-Trump hat that she wore to work. The backlash from Trump supporters, well, it won't necessarily surprise you. It included racial slurs and even death threats. The young woman is identified as 22-year-old Krystal Lake. She was working a Sunday night shift wearing a hat that said, "America was never great." Donald Trump's "Make America Great Again" is his big campaign slogan, and so this was her own kind of opinion or campaign against that. We have a video for you to take a look at.
The message that other people are trying to send out is like America's like this wonderful place, like nothing ever bad happened in the world, but it never was great, so I feel like it was a lie. So
now, Trump supporters are some of the worst and the most aggressive and the angriest humans. So as I said in the open, I don't know that this is necessarily surprising that this poor young woman came under such backlash for running kind of her own independent campaign.
I mean, I think that there's a couple of angles here, though, too. I mean, she's entitled to wear whatever hat she wants to wear. I think when you're at a place of work, though, like, it is not Home Depot's prerogative to make any political statements. I know that. I mean, hearing what she had to say, okay, so in her opinion, America's never been great. That's fine. There's plenty of people that agree with you, but I do think that that's not the environment to make that statement. You know, that being said, I most certainly do not condone people receiving death threats and racial slurs and all of that stuff. So it's sort of like a overreaction city basically happening at Home Depot. But yeah, I mean, what was Home Depot's response to that?
So thank you for asking. So Home Depot, here's a response from Home Depot from the spokesperson from Home Depot, Stephen Holmes. Here's what he had to say. "We appreciate and understand the concerns of our loyal customers in terms of the message. Our associates are not permitted to wear items that reflect political statements. Unfortunately, no one on our management team saw her wearing the hat. Otherwise, they would have had her remove it immediately." And as I said, that's from Home Depot spokesman Stephen Holmes. And to your previous point, before I read this quote, absolutely. When you're working in the private sector, wherever you work, there's certain rules. If you want to collect your paycheck, you got to follow the rules, right? And so, if this was indeed one of their rules, as they're claiming, and none of the management said something, or there was a deviation in those rules on her part, then she should be, held liable and accountable for the decision that she made. Because yes, everybody's entitled. We're freedom of speech. We can all have an opinion with that regard, but when you're dealing with the general public or at work, what you're doing in your personal time, I believe, is one thing.
Because whether you like it or not, you are a representative of that company when you're there, and I highly doubt that Home Depot wants to turn away any clientele, even if they're Trump supporters, right? So, I mean, and her biggest argument is the fact that people at Home Depot have also been wearing Trump supporting buttons, right, on their aprons, and nobody said anything to them. I do think that there is something about, like, a white hat with black lettering. It draws your attention a little bit more, but still, they should have the same policy for everybody. But I don't think that Home Depot's in the wrong for not condoning wearing that kind of political statement on your head.
Well, where do you stand? Where's the line? Where's the limit with regard to expressing yourself with freedom of speech?